Evelyn Rourke hadn't stepped foot in Glassmore Tower for 8 months. Not since the stroke that left her right hand trembling and her empire vulnerable. From the back seat of her Bentley, she studied the gleaming skyscraper she'd built from nothing. 72 floors of architectural brilliance, now allegedly under her daughter-in-law Clara's control. "They've changed everything," muttered Philip, her driver of 20 years. "New security, new protocols." Evelyn's jaw tightened. "And who authorized these changes? Clara? The woman who married my son for his last name?" Philip avoided her gaze in the rearview mirror. "The board voted unanimously after your absence." Absence. Evelyn nearly spat the word. "Is that what we're calling medical recovery now?" The car stopped at the private entrance. Through tinted windows, Evelyn spotted unfamiliar guards. Not her people. Not anymore. "They say you need clearance now, ma'am," Philip said quietly. Evelyn's laugh was sharp enough to cut glass. "Clearance? To enter my own building?" She grabbed her cane, ignoring the tremor in her fingers. Her reflection wavered in the glass doors ahead, still elegant in her tailored suit, silver hair impeccable, but thinner, weaker, or so they thought. "Ma'am," Philip touched her arm, "perhaps we should call ahead. I built this company from dust," Evelyn whispered, eyes locked on the tower that bore her name. "I will not beg for permission to enter it." She pushed open the car door, the winter air slicing through her clothes. What awaited inside was worse than she imagined. Whispers rippled through the lobby like wind through tall grass. Employees froze mid-step, coffee cups suspended. Security guards touched their earpieces. Evelyn Rourke was back. She moved forward, cane tapping against marble, chin raised despite the murmurs. 8 months ago, these people jumped at her command. Now they stared as if seeing a ghost. Mrs. Rourke, a young receptionist, stammered. "We weren't expecting me?" "Clearly." Evelyn continued toward the executive elevators. "Where is she?" The question hung in the air. Everyone knew who she was. As if summoned, the elevator doors parted. Clara Rourke stepped out, 33, striking in a navy pantsuit, her copper hair pulled back. Evelyn's son had always had good taste, if terrible judgment. "Mother Rourke," Clara said, voice carrying across the hushed lobby. Evelyn didn't slow her pace. "That's Mrs. Rourke to you. I'm not your mother." Clara's smile remained fixed. "Professional. Welcome back. Had we known you were coming, you'd have rolled out the red carpet, or locked the doors." Evelyn reached the executive elevator and pressed her thumb to the scanner. The panel flashed red. "ACCESS denied." A collective intake of breath swept through the lobby. Evelyn tried again. Red. Again. Red. Clara stepped forward, apology painted across her face. "The systems were updated during your recovery." "Recovery," Evelyn echoed, the word bitter on her tongue. "Is that what this is? A recovery? Or a coup?" Clara lowered her voice. "Please, not here. There are cameras." "Good," Evelyn replied, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Let them record what you've done." Clara gripped Evelyn's elbow, steering her away from prying eyes. "You're making a scene." "Am I?" Evelyn yanked free. "In my own company?" "Your company that almost collapsed while you were gone," Clara whispered fiercely. "The one I saved while you were learning to hold a spoon again." The blow landed. Evelyn's fingers tightened around her cane. A security guard approached. Bulky. Nervous. "Everything okay, Mrs. Rourke?" "Which Mrs. Rourke?" Evelyn snapped. Clara touched the guard's arm. "Register her for visitor access, please." "Visitor." The word hung between them like a slap. "Visitor," Evelyn repeated, voice dangerously soft. "In the building with my name on it?" People were staring now. Some had phones out, recording. The guard handed Evelyn a plastic badge. Visitor stamped across it in bold red letters. "Temporary measure," Clara said smoothly. "Until the board meeting tomorrow." "What board meeting?" "The one deciding your future role." Clara's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Merely formalities." Evelyn clipped the badge to her lapel, each movement precise despite her trembling hand. "Nothing about power is ever a formality, dear. Your ambition is showing." Clara's face hardened. "My dedication, you mean, to the company you abandoned? 8 months of medical leave is hardly abandonment. The market doesn't care why you left, only that you did." Clara pressed the elevator button. "Things change. People adapt, or they get left behind. The doors opened. Clara gestured inside. After you. Evelyn stepped in, feeling trapped. What have you done to my company? The executive floor was transformed. Gone were Evelyn's antiques, replaced with modern furniture and bright lighting. Her oil paintings swapped for digital screens displaying company metrics. You've been busy, Evelyn said, each word carved from ice. Modernizing. Clara led her to the boardroom. The old ways weren't working anymore. The old ways built this company, and nearly crashed it. Clara checked her watch. The board arrives in an hour. Evelyn's legs weakened suddenly, the effect of standing too long since her stroke. She lowered herself into a chair, hoping Clara hadn't noticed. She had. You're still recovering, Clara observed. I'll get you water. I don't need your help. Clara ignored her, signaling to an assistant hovering nearby. The young man hurried off, returning with a glass of water on a silver tray. Clara took the glass herself, bringing it to Evelyn. Drink. You look pale. Evelyn stared at the offering. The glass was sleek and modern, not the crystal tumblers she'd ordered for the executive floor. More changes? Evelyn nodded at the glass. Something flickered across Clara's face. Worry? Fear? She glanced up at the security camera in the corner, then back to Evelyn. Please, Clara said, voice dropping to a whisper. Just, don't touch the glass. What? The water, Clara corrected quickly. You don't have to drink it. Evelyn's instincts flared. After decades in business, she recognized coded warnings. But from Clara? The woman trying to steal her company? What game are you playing? Evelyn demanded. Clara's phone buzzed. Her face drained of color as she read the message. He's coming. She breathed. Who's coming? Clara's eyes met hers, genuine terror shining through. Trust no one. The air changed. Security guards appeared at the doorway, then stepped aside as Victor Hale entered, Evelyn's financial advisor of 20 years. Evelyn. His surprise seemed genuine. What a miracle. We weren't expecting you until next month. Clara positioned herself between them. Victor was just leaving. Board meeting prep. Victor's smile didn't waver. Nonsense. I've missed our fearless founder. He reached for Evelyn's hand. How's the recovery? Before Evelyn could respond, Clara knocked the glass of water. It spilled across the table, sending everyone jumping back. Clumsy me, Clara said. Let me clean this. Victor's eyes narrowed slightly. Allow me to get a fresh drink for Evelyn. No need, Clara insisted, dabbing at the spill. Victor checked his watch. I have matters to discuss with Evelyn, privately. You'll have time at the board meeting, Clara countered. The tension between them crackled like electricity. Evelyn watched, calculating. These two hated each other. But why? Perhaps, Victor suggested smoothly, Evelyn would prefer hearing certain financial matters from me first, before the board meeting. Clara's knuckles whitened around the napkin. She needs rest before. I'm perfectly capable of deciding what I need, Evelyn interrupted. Victor smiled triumphantly. I'll have drinks sent up. The moment he left, Clara locked the door and checked her phone again. Listen carefully, she whispered, kneeling beside Evelyn's chair. I can't explain everything now, but you're in danger. From whom? You. I'm trying to protect you. Clara's eyes filled with tears. Please believe that. Before Evelyn could respond, Clara leaned forward and pressed her lips to Evelyn's forehead. A trembling kiss filled with desperation. Evelyn recoiled. What are you? The boardroom door burst open. Security rushed in. Stop, a guard shouted. Don't touch that glass. The glass Victor had arranged shattered across the floor as security knocked it away. Liquid splashed onto expensive shoes, sending everyone backward. Nobody move, the head of security ordered, voice echoing through the boardroom. Two guards in black tactical gear appeared with detection equipment. One ran a test strip through the spilled liquid. It turned bright red. Positive for toxins, the guard announced. Everyone stay back. Alarms blared. Red lights flashed. The building's automated system kicked in. Biohazard detected. Please proceed to emergency exits. Evelyn stared at the puddle that, moments ago, she might have consumed. What is happening? She demanded, heart hammering against her ribs. Clara stood protectively in front of her as hazmat-gloved security collected samples. Someone tried to poison you, Clara said, voice shaking. Just like they tried 3 days ago, and last week. Poison? Who would? The security chief interrupted. Ma'am, we need to move you to a secure location immediately. Victor appeared in the doorway, face twisting with rage when he saw the spilled drink. His eyes met Evelyn's, then Clara's. This is ridiculous, he sputtered. Some kind of setup. The poison matches samples from your office, Mr. Hale, the security chief replied coldly. We've been monitoring for weeks. Victor lunged, not for the exit, but toward Evelyn. You old witch, you've ruined everything. Security tackled him to the season's ground. His perfectly controlled facade crumbled into madness as they dragged him away. You were supposed to die quietly, he screamed. A stroke victim's relapse. No one would have questioned it. Evelyn felt her world tilting sideways. The tremor in her hand worsened. My stroke, she whispered, the horrific truth dawning. That wasn't natural either, was it? Clara gripped her shoulders, steadying her. We have proof now, but there's something worse you don't know. What could be worse than this? Clara's eyes darkened. Victor wasn't working alone. The secure room deep beneath Glassmore Tower resembled a military bunker. Steel walls, no windows, multiple security checkpoints. Evelyn sat rigidly across from Agent Torres of the FBI, Clara beside her. Surveillance footage from the past month played on screens around them. Victor Hale began embezzling small amounts 3 years ago, Torres explained. When internal audits nearly caught him, he decided on a more permanent solution. Me, Evelyn said flatly. Your first stroke contained traces of a sophisticated neurotoxin, Torres confirmed, but your body metabolized it differently than expected. You survived. Evelyn turned to Clara. You knew, all this time? I suspected, after finding discrepancies in the company financials, Clara replied. But I needed proof. If I'd accused your trusted advisor without evidence, I wouldn't have believed you, Evelyn finished. Torres slid forward a folder. Victor's been siphoning millions into offshore accounts. Upon your death, falsified documents would have transferred controlling interest to him instead of your son. Where is my son now? Evelyn demanded. Clara and Torres exchanged glances. That's the complication, Torres said carefully. Your son has been working with Victor. The room spun. Evelyn gripped the table. No, that's impossible. He wouldn't. We have recordings, Torres said gently, reaching for a tablet. Clara stopped her. Not yet. She needs time. Time for what? More lies? Evelyn snapped. Decades of business instinct cutting through emotion. Show me everything. Torres hesitated, then played the recording. A man's voice, unmistakably her son's, filled the room. Once mother's gone, we control everything. Clara suspects nothing. The tablet slipped from Evelyn's fingers. He doesn't know you discovered them. No, Clara whispered, tears streaming down her face. And there's one more betrayal you don't know about. Your son and I were never in love, Clara confessed, pacing the secure room. I was planted in your family 5 years ago. Evelyn felt numb. By whom? Originally, by Victor. I was his assistant before I accidentally met your son. The perfect spy to report your business movements. The betrayal cut deeper than any knife. So, everything was a lie. At first, Clara admitted. But then I saw who you really were. Not the cold tyrant Victor described, but a brilliant woman who built something extraordinary. Torres interjected. 6 months ago, Clara came to us. She'd discovered Victor's embezzlement and suspected the truth about your stroke. We needed evidence, Clara continued. So I played along, pretended to help take over the company while secretly gathering proof. The board meeting tomorrow, Evelyn realized. A trap. Torres nodded. Victor and your son plan to announce your mental incapacity and complete the takeover. Evelyn's head throbbed. Her own child wanted her dead. How could he do this? Clara knelt beside her. Victor poisoned him with more than chemicals. Fed him lies for years that you planned to leave everything to charity. Nothing to him. I would never. I know that now, Clara said. But your son believed it. Victor manipulated his insecurities until hatred replaced love. Security burst through the door. We've got a problem. Hale escaped custody. And we can't locate my son, Evelyn finished. They'll come for you both, Torres warned. We need to move you now. Clara's phone buzzed with an incoming message. Her face went white. It's too late, she whispered, turning the screen toward them. The message contained a single line. Tell Mother I'm coming to say goodbye personally. We need to run, Torres ordered. Evelyn stood, resolve hardening her voice. No. I'm done running. It's time to face my son. They waited in Evelyn's old office, now Clara's, with agents concealed throughout the floor. Evelyn insisted on being the visible target. He'll expect me to be hiding, she explained. Let's surprise him with the truth instead. The elevator chimed. Footsteps approached. Her son, Alexander, stepped through the doorway, handsome, like his father, but with a coldness in his eyes Evelyn had never noticed before. Mother, he said flatly, you're looking alive. No thanks to you, Evelyn replied. His eyes darted to Clara. You betrayed me. No, Alex, Clara countered. I refuse to help you become a murderer. Alexander laughed bitterly. Always so dramatic. This is business, nothing more. The company needed younger leadership. So you decided to poison me? Evelyn asked. Your own mother? Victor handled the details. Alexander shrugged. I simply didn't interfere. And that makes your hands clean? Evelyn stood, strength returning to her voice. I built this company for you, Alex. Everything I did was for your future. Lies, he hissed. I saw your updated will. The charitable foundation gets everything. What updated will? Evelyn asked, genuinely confused. Clara stepped forward. The forged one. Victor showed you. I found the original in his safe. She handed Alexander a document. Read it yourself. Everything goes to you. Always did. Alexander scanned the pages, color draining from his face. This can't be real. It is, Evelyn said softly. I would never disinherit you. You're my son. He looked up, decades of rage crumbling into uncertainty. But Victor said, Victor, lied, Clara interrupted. About everything. Alexander's hands shook. What have I done? Behind him, Torres appeared with her weapon raised. You have a choice now, Evelyn said, her voice breaking. The path you take next determines if forgiveness is possible. Alexander dropped to his knees. Mother, A gunshot exploded through the window. Glass rained down as Victor fired from the building across the street. Alexander threw himself over his mother as agents returned fire. Get down, Clara screamed, dragging them both behind the desk. Victor's voice came through Alexander's phone on speaker. You weak fool. Finish what we started or die with them. Alexander grabbed the phone. It's over, Victor. I know the truth. Then you'll all die together. Victor snarled before the line went dead. Security reported Victor, fleeing to the roof. A helicopter approached. His escape plan. He has a detonator, Torres warned. Explosives planted throughout the building. The evacuation system. Evelyn realized. We can get everyone out. Clara shook her head. He'll trigger it the moment the alarm sound. Alexander stood. I know another way. The maintenance override in the server room. I can trigger silent evacuation. It's too dangerous, Evelyn protested. Let me do this, Alexander insisted. Let me save what I almost destroyed. Before she could argue, he sprinted out, Torres following. Tense minutes passed. Clara and Evelyn huddled together as the building quietly emptied. Finally, Torres radioed. Building clear, except for us. Victor cornered on the roof. They joined the others, watching through tactical cameras as Victor, surrounded, held up the detonator. It ends my way, he threatened. Alexander stepped forward despite Torres's warning. You used me. Poisoned me against my own mother. You were always weak, Victor spat. Just like her. No, Alexander replied. She built an empire. You just tried to steal one. Victor pressed the detonator button. Nothing happened. Looking for this, Alexander held up a circuit board. I disabled it while evacuating the building. Victor lunged at Alexander. A shot rang out. Victor collapsed. 3 months later, Glassmore Tower reopened. Evelyn and Alexander stood side by side at the ceremony, Clara nearby. Their relationships healing slowly but surely. A new glass wall in the lobby caught the sunlight. Etched into it, Evelyn's favorite saying, Legacy isn't what we leave behind. It's what we repair before we go. Alexander squeezed his mother's hand. I'm so sorry. I know, she replied, watching their reflections merge with the glass and sky. Now, we rebuild. Together.